Viagra. Step up to the plate and ask your doctor if a free sample of Viagra is right for you. And by Subway, good so you don't always have to be. Subway, eat fresh. Beautiful night. What a difference a night makes. It is gorgeous after getting rained out last night. You may wonder how that field is and the condition of the field. Let's go down to Chris Myers.
Yeah, Joe, they used a helicopter to blow away some of the water that was standing in the outfield from yesterday. The chopper was lowered as close to the field without landing on it. It was sunny most of the day. The grounds crew worked throughout the day as Dave Millar with his crew making sure the field was in good shape. Although dry, the outfield, there are some spots a bit soft beneath the grass that maybe with some constant running over it might loosen up. We'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, the field conditions gets a thumbs up from the players.
All right, Chris, thanks. We're glad you're with us tonight. And Alfonso Soriano will walk in and lead it off for the New York Yankees. Jeter and Giambi will follow. We'll give you a full look at that starting lineup for Joe Torre when we get a second. Soriano so far is hitless in this ALCS, and because of the washout last night, most believe, and I think the three of us are in agreement, that by getting Wakefield on the mound tonight and Derek Lowe, who won 11 games against only 2 losses here at home this season, on the mound tomorrow afternoon, the rainout favors the Boston Red Sox as the first pitch is up for ball 1. You look at the postseason numbers for Wakefield, a winner in game 1 of this ALCS 5-2 on Wednesday night. And he's 2-0 on Soriano.
We said in game 1 that if Wakefield was up with the knuckleball, that would be bad for the Red Sox. He's been up with 2 so far.
And up with a third. It's 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Jeter and Giambi will follow. And a strike. 68 miles an hour. A 3-0 knuckleball. So no 3-0 fastball, and now Soriano takes high, a leadoff walk. The starting lineup for the New York Yankees brought to you by State Farm. You know about Soriano. He's on at first now. Jeter is stepping to the plate with Giambi, the DH, to follow. Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada, and Hideki Matsui, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, with Johnson, Boone, and David DeLucci getting the surprise start. Joe Torre thinking he might be more patient against the knuckleball pitching of Tim Wakefield. Leadoff man is on. Jeter is at the plate. We'll see if the Yankees want to do any first inning running.
Hard to hit a knuckleball, easy to run against one.
And a little clunker into shallow center field. That ball's going to drop. Soriano will hold at second. It's 2 on with nobody out. And we look defensively at the Boston Red Sox. They've committed 1 error in this ALCS. Belongs to Damian Jackson. They have Ramirez in left, Johnny Damon in center, Nixon in right, with Miller, Garciaparra, Walker, and Millar on the infield. And Mirabelli does most of the catching. In fact, all but 2 innings that Tim Wakefield pitched this season, he had Mirabelli behind the plate.
Notice the infield is not shifted for Jason Giambi because Soriano's speed at second base demands that Miller hold at third.
Again, it's up from Wakefield, ball 1. Well, if the key for Wakefield, according to Grady Little, the manager of the Red Sox, is how Mirabelli is catching him, he's having no problem catching him, and they've all been up. There's one in for a strike. It's 1-1.
Just playing against knuckleballers, and I think we talked about it the first game Timmy pitched. The problem they get into is when they're not throwing strikes with a knuckleball. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And Timmy, you said you can run on a knuckleball, and that's true.
The 1-1 with 2 on and nobody out is ripped. Caught for a double play. 2 out.
Huge break for the Red Sox. A rocket caught by Millar. Jeter with no place to go.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that as a runner.
Hung out to dry.
So what looked like a damaging first inning for the Boston Red Sox now sees the Yankees with a runner at second, Soriano 2 out, and Bernie Williams, who has 2 hits in this series and 1 RBI, standing at the plate. Strike 1 on the inside corner. It's Wakefield and Mussina tonight. Derek Lowe and David Wells tomorrow. Yankees leading 2-1 in this best-of-7 series. 1 ball, 1 strike on Williams.
So far, Wakefield is not fooling the Yankees. One of the worst things that can happen to a knuckleball is to have it rolling and not moving from side to side.
Down and in, 2-1.
That was a roller right there. Drifting low for Williams.
Two balls and a strike, and now 3-1. The thing about a knuckleballer, Grady Little was talking about, he can be great in the bullpen. You have no idea if that's going to translate to what he does on the mound in the game. He can be great 1 inning and terrible the next. Tough for a hitter to get into a groove and feel comfortable, and tough for a pitcher like Wakefield to know where it's going. 3 balls, 1 strike, runner at second, 2 out. And another walk. 2 in the inning, plus a hit, but a line drive double play, and now with 2 on, 2 out, Posada walks in.
You need a windsock sometime when Wakefield pitches. In the first game, the wind was blowing out to center field or right in the face of Tim Wakefield, about 4 to 8 miles an hour. And tonight, from left field to right field, from 6 to 10 miles an hour. So the temperature and the weather conditions at Yankee Stadium were much better than they are tonight. You don't want crosswinds when you're throwing a knuckleball. The best is when the wind's at you.
Now with 2 on, 2 out, here is Posada. Could put the Yankees on top here in the first inning. So like judging the distance with a lob wedge in your hand, you got to wonder about the wind. A guy like Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, they couldn't care less. Ball and a strike.
Watch how this ball stays outside. You'd much rather a knuckleball do that than roll and have that rolling effect, because there's no side-to-side movement.
2 balls and a strike, and this big crowd at Fenway Park already starting to groan here in the first inning.
Yeah, but those last 2 knuckleballs, you can work with those because it's got side-to-side movement.
So far, more out of than in the strike zone. 2-1 pitch. On the corner, 2-2.
That's when he's thrown right here.
Soriano led off with a walk. Jeter single to center. Giambi lined into a double play. Williams walked. And this crowd hoping, pleading, begging Wakefield to get through a scoreless first. He does. grumbling about the postseason and big game pitching of Mike Mussina, who so far is 0-2 in October for the Yankees this season. The starting lineup for the Red Sox brought to you by State Farm. Damon, Walker, and Garciaparra at the top. No big surprises. Ramirez, Ortiz, and Millar in the middle, with Trot Nixon, Bill Miller, and Doug Mirabelli catching and batting in the number 9 spot. See what the top of the order did in Game 3 against Roger Clemens. And the numbers this postseason for Mike Mussina: he lost Game 1 to Tim Wakefield 5-2 on Wednesday. Winless in his last 5 postseason starts. And a strike on the outside corner to Johnny Damon. Damon made his first appearance of this series in Game 3 and went 3 for 4. One ball, one strike. A lot of talk about the extra rest for Mike Mussina with his usual pinpoint control. And as Tim said, he only walked 2 in Game 1, but he was behind one hitter after another. So they wanted to keep Mussina on regular rest. They move Wells to tomorrow. And Mussina falls behind Damon 2-1. That's foul. And that's Johnny Damon. I mean, he can miss a ball by a foot swinging at it. He can hook one down into the right field corner. He can slap one down the left field line. And that one took 2 hops and hit off a fan down the left side here at Fenway.
2 of his 3 hits the other night, one off the third baseman Enrique Wilson, the other off Derek Jeter.
Here's a 2-2. Pitch up and in, and Mussina starts it with a strikeout. Look at the defense for the New York Yankees. So far, they've not committed an error in this ALCS. And the only change is DeLucci out in right. 3rd career postseason start, first with the Yankees. He was with Arizona and missed 30 games with a sprained ankle. Got himself back into playing shape just in time to be a part of the postseason roster for Joe Torre. Here's Todd Walker. Strike 1.
I think with Johnny swinging at that pitch, when Mike is most successful, you see a lot of hitters swinging at that pitch up a little bit out of the zone, and that's when he's most successful.
The 0-1. A little inside, a ball and a strike.
Part of our scouting report is Mussina's control on the inside outside edges. It appears to me that he's throwing much harder than he did in Game 1 too. There's some pop in Posada's mitt.
Strike 2.
That scouting report, that 3rd point is the one to keep in mind. Controlling both sides of the plate. That's what Mike does well when he wins, and when he loses, he doesn't do well.
And Brett, you talk about pitchers falling into a pattern with how they try to get you out. Mussina's a guy that just doesn't do it.
No, he won't. He'll if you go, you know, if you make 3 outs, he might get you out 3 different ways. And I think I think that's a philosophy. I think a lot of the Yankees do it. You know, we talked about Andy Pettitte doing it, and this is the first year where he really had no pattern, and Mike never has.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 1st. That's foul down the right side. So it stays 1-2. Mike Mussina was signed in November of 2000, and his last win of the postseason came in Game 2 of the ALCS against Seattle in 2001. So in October so far, he has yet to step forward and be the dominant type pitcher that he is during the regular season. A 17-game winner this year. That's the opposite way into left. And Matsui hauls in out number 2. That'll bring in the struggling Nomar Garciaparra.
That was a fastball. Whenever you see 2 fingers on a ball, it's a fastball, or it looked like a cutter. I think I was wrong the first 2 times. It was a knuckle curve. I've got Brett Boone.
You're 1 for 3.
Next to me. Yeah, one out of 3. Not bad hitting. Real bad up here.
I was going to say, Timmy, we're not hitting.
Hey, you can see the knuckles right there. That's the knuckle curveball.
Garciaparra into center field. It'll carry to Bernie Williams. You two compose yourselves. We'll move to the second.
Timmy, let's move on.
Here in game 4. Down go the Red Sox. 1, 2, 3. No score after 1. First up, Hideki Matsui, then Nick Johnson, then Aaron Boone here in the second against Tim Wakefield, who dodged trouble in the first thanks to a line drive double play hit into by Giambi. First pitch, a ball. And now another. There's Stephen King. Finished 2 new novels in the cab ride on the way over here, and in the first inning wrote 3 more. 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Big Red Sox fan there, Brett Boone. That's Stephen King.
Is he?
Yeah. Wrote a book with Tom Gordon's name in the title of it. 2-1 pitch. 2-2 on Matsui. Hideki Matsui so far in this ALCS, 3 out of 9. He was the one that got that big double off Pedro Martinez in the eventful 4th inning on Saturday. Probably the biggest swing of the bat all day. Waits on it. Still 2-2.
Joe Torre certainly thinks so. In that inning, Posada led off with a walk. Then Nick Johnson singled, and then the double by Matsui. And then the ball thrown behind the head of Kareem Garcia.
2-2 pitch. Matsui a late swing, and he's gone. 1 out. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question: who is most responsible for Saturday's melee in the 4th inning? Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, Manny Ramirez, Don Zimmer. You can use your PCS Vision phone from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com, the keyword MLB on Fox. So we will do that, and I will ask Player Man what he thinks.
Player Man?
Player Man.
Who is most responsible? Who do you think?
That's you.
Let's go.
Who threw the pitch?
Pedro Martinez.
Okay.
That's your answer.
If the pitch wasn't thrown, would anything have happened?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, you have an answer.
Why do we need to vote now? Let's see how much. Yeah. Let's see how much weight I carry up here.
I don't know if Pedro or Manny Ramirez have PCS Vision phones down in the clubhouse, but they might differ. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah. Whatever.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, fouled it back. Can't get that upset about that. I know you're scared about facing Pedro Martinez next year, but I mean, say something.
I've said my piece.
With 1 out, nobody on, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nick Johnson. That's 3 strikeouts in a row.
We talked last inning about how you can corral it if it's outside or inside. That knuckleball has not been rolling his last 3 hitters. There it is. At freeze. That's what Dave Wallace says about Wakefield. When the arm is stiff to the ground and straight up, almost like being sworn in.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 out, nobody on. 1-1. Into left field, not well hit. Manny Ramirez hauls in out number 3, and the Yankees go in order. Bottom of the second rolls in here at Fenway. The big bats: Ramirez, Ortiz, Millard coming up. No score. Series on Fox brought to you by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Old Navy Painters Pants, they'll work for you. Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, Kevin Millar coming up. Here is Manny. Hard hit. Boone, what a play. Long throw for the out. A backhanded stab, and Aaron Boone took care of a tough chance for the first out in the second.
There's only one guy who can explain this, a Gold Glover. That is some kind of picking it.
It's a great play. He listens well.
Oh, you're taking credit?
I take credit for everything. Yeah, Aaron he's a very talented defender. I mean, I've seen him make that play 20 times, and I haven't played against him that much, but I watch him quite a bit.
And he can play really anywhere on the infield.
He can. I mean, third base is by far his best position, but he had to play second a little this year. I worked with him a little bit in spring training, before spring training started. But he can move around, but third's definitely a spot.
With one out, David Ortiz digs in and takes the ball low. We were talking about Don Zimmer last half inning in that sprint question. And one point about it that I don't hear talked about really at all is that Don Zimmer doesn't want that whole how could Pedro Martinez pull down a 72-year-old man. He doesn't want the special consideration because he's 72 years old. As that ball will roll foul. Interesting that Mussina would let it roll. Looked like he had an out sitting right there in front of him.
I was thinking the same thing. David Ortiz has not attempted a stolen base all year. Now that means he's slow. So if he's slow, I think Mike was perhaps worried about throwing into the runner, picking it up, being on the line, and having Ortiz in the way of the throw to first base.
But other than that, I mean, Ortiz wasn't halfway down the line.
I think if you pick it up and back off a little bit, give yourself a little room, then you get Ortiz.
With one out, nobody on, Ortiz gets back in there, has a little second life, in my opinion, thanks to that decision by Mike Mussina. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1. So while people say, how could Pedro Martinez do that? We talked about that at length when it happened in the 4th inning. And in my opinion, I don't think you can blame a guy for reacting with somebody coming at him. But in Don Zimmer's mind, he doesn't want that, how can you push down the old man stuff. That's just not Don Zimmer. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The way I saw it was, and I've said this, I think I have a lot of respect for Don, what he did. It might not have been the right choice, but he's in the heat of the battle, and he wants to protect his guys. He's going to war with his guys. But I think you can't fault Pedro for what he did. I mean, he's trying to defend himself. He's not thinking, here's a 7-year-old man, I better take it easy. He's thinking, I'm protecting myself here.
2-2 pitch. Ortiz strikes out. So Mussina let the ball roll foul and picks up a strikeout, his second of the night. And let's check in with Chris Myers with news about Don Zimmer.
Yeah, Joe, we saw Zimmer's tearful apology on the pregame show. I talked to him before the game around the batting cage. First, he pointed out he's ultra sensitive anytime a player is thrown out around his head, because it was 50 years ago at age 22 when he was batting with St. Paul against Columbus, no batting helmet, and he was hit. He was unconscious for 13 days. He wanted to clarify he doesn't have a metal or steel plate in his head. They actually drilled 3 holes in the side of his head, used a material to similar to a bone structure to help, and he was unconscious for 13 days. And then coming out of that, he's always been sensitive, but he did want to make clear that he was sorry about what happened and wanted to now concentrate, of course, on the Yankees moving forward and getting back to the World Series.
Thanks, Chris. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on Kevin Millar. Now it's 0-2. Zimmer was fined $5,000. Pedro $50,000, Manny $25,000, and Kareem Garcia $10,000, and he has potentially some legal issues staring at him for what happened in the bullpen in the 9th inning here on Saturday evening. There have been some changes out in that bullpen, by the way, on the New York Yankee side, and we'll hear more about that as this game moves on. Jeff Nelson, Kareem Garcia, the 2 major players involved from the Yankee side. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on here in the second. And Millar strikes out. You can see already there's a big difference in Mike Mussina. Game 1 to game 4. He has already struck out 3. The Red Sox don't have a base runner. We don't have any score going to the 3rd. DeLucci is in for a strike, and we're underway in the third inning. No score. DeLucci, the number 9 hitter, then Soriano and Jeter in this game 4, with the Yankees up 2-1. That hit the arm of David DeLucci. Wakefield still staring in there, wanting verification that that did hit him in the arm. Leadoff man is on after this.
Right elbow clearly flunked. You might say, well, Dave DeLucci didn't try to get out of the way, but if it's a knuckleball, you don't know where the thing's going. So you could certainly understand why DeLucci didn't try to get out of the way. It's not like a fastball or a predictable pitch.
Soriano now walked his first time up and was left stranded when the Yankees hit into a double play and left 2. On the inside corner for a strike. Against the Yankees, Tim Wakefield is 2-5 with an ERA over 6.5 here at Fenway Park. DeLucci running. The throw by Mirabelli is too late. And a stolen base has the Yankees with a runner at second, nobody out.
That's the problem with throwing. Number one, the knuckleball takes a long time to get there, and you can't center the ball with that big mitt. That ball was rolling around in there. You have to feel the ball. You have to know where the ball is in order to throw quickly. And that was a fine throw as far as placement.
That was a great throw.
Yeah.
Mirabelli throws a lot better than he's given credit for.
Only 19% thrown out all year. That's not good, but he's catching a knuckleball pitcher.
That's into center for Damon, and Soriano does not advance the runner, 1 out.
This is what happens with that knuckleball. See, the action is still rolling. Watch the ball still rolling in his mitt. And by the time you get it, sometimes you pull it out and you don't have a firm grip of the ball. So it's very, very difficult throwing from behind the plate. And DeLucci took advantage of that.
Here's Jeter now. Derek singled his first time up. His 4th hit of this series. Been bothered by a sprain in his left thumb. Of course, he dislocated that left shoulder a season opener in Toronto and missed 36 games. Now he's jammed in a pop-up. Damon coming in. 2 out. And with Damon coming in, Todd Walker made sure he got out of the way with what happened in Game 5 out in Oakland.
He really did. Watch Walker go that way to clear the way for Johnny Damon. Get out of the way. Damian Jackson running into Johnny in Game 5 of the American League Divisional Series.
And now here's Giambi, who hit a rocket down to first with 2 on and nobody out. And the shift is on the infield, but Miller is at least in the vicinity of third base. But it'd be tough for him to get there and cover on a throw over. Up and away for a ball. Not that you want to chance it with a guy like Giambi at the plate and run in this situation, but it would be fun to watch Miller try to get to third and take a throw on a steal attempt.
Yeah, the Red Sox realize that there are 2 outs. It's much more of a chance to try to steal third.
But when you have a pitcher and you have that as the result, being at third base is not such a bad thing as the count goes to 1-1. Giambi or not, if you can get to third base and feel comfortable doing it, because of this, sometimes it might not be too big of a risk. It might be worth the chance.
Well, this gets him to third anyway. 14 pass balls during the season. Mirabelli only started 43 games. Grady Little said if the catcher's having problems with the knuckleball, he's got a good one, and he's having a ton of problems back there.
This is what Euchre said. Wait till it stops rolling and pick it up. That's outside for a ball. Close pitch. Wakefield doesn't get it. It's 2-1. An RBI chance for Giambi. And it's 2-2.
It's very interesting to watch hitters when they face a knuckleballer. They'll change their stance. Watch Jason. Normally he has that bat off his shoulder all the time. Watch him when Wakefield comes set, how he kind of bounced it. It's just something you do different against a pitcher or a pitch that you don't see all the time.
Another pop-up. The Yankees had a runner at second, nobody out, and do not score. They have stranded 3. We go to the bottom of inning number 3. It'll be Nixon, Miller, and Mirabelli coming up for Boston here in game 4. No score. Trot Nixon first up for Boston here in the 3rd inning, and Mussina misses low for ball 1. It will be Nixon, Miller, and Mirabelli. One of the all-time great broadcasters and people in attendance here today, the beloved Kurt Gowdy.
The Cowboy.
From Wyoming. That beautiful voice of his. Long-time voice here as Nixon takes on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trot so far is 3 out of 9 in this ALCS. 5 for 19 with that dramatic game 3 home run in the division series against Oakland. Hard hit, base hit, and the leadoff man is on. The best view of tonight's game is from the Hood Lightship. Hood Dairy will donate $300 to children's hospitals throughout New England for every home run, double play, and strikeout made by the Red Sox during the ALCS here at Fenway. And we thank them for joining us tonight. Much better night weather-wise. What a difference from last night. It was pouring, and the irony of it all was the second they called it, it stopped raining and didn't rain another drop the rest of the night. But the field was unplayable. Today was beautiful. Here's Bill Miller. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Miller, the batting champ, if you haven't looked at the numbers in the postseason, has a total of 4 hits. 4 out of 30. Batting in the number 8 spot. So they've got the batting champ who's struggling at the plate. And they've got their best known hitter in Garcia Parra, historically a great postseason hitter who hasn't driven in a run. And yet here are the Red Sox, 3 wins away from getting the World Series for the first time since 1986.
What American League pitchers try to do, go up the ladder with 2 strikes to Miller.
Check swing on a pitch inside, still 0-2.
Mike Mussina is not the type pitcher that relies on a high fastball, but there are an awful lot of American League pitchers who try to pitch Miller up here in the zone with 2 strikes and make him chase.
Mussina with 3 strikeouts tonight. Up and out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wide, it's 2-2. Just outside, full count.
In the last 2 games, with a count 3-2 on 2 different hitters, Brady Little has elected to send the runner. Both have been strike him out, throw him out, and one was Bill Miller in game 3.
Nixon's running. Miller strikes out, throw down. Nixon is gone. It's happened to the Red Sox for the 3rd time. Grady Little says the difference between in this series and the regular season, we were making contact. In the ALCS, a lot of this and a lot of that at the other end.
You think about the probabilities of the Red Sox doing it 3 times in a row, twice with Bill Miller, a contact hitter. Indication of how hard Mussina has been throwing. An easy out as Trot Nixon is tagged out by Soriano.
Now Mirabelli with the bases empty. Ball 1. Mirabelli during the regular season hit .258. As we said, he was predominantly the catcher every time Wakefield's name came up. Into center field. That's a 2-out hit. Damon's walking in, and we look ahead to tomorrow. We all look ahead to tomorrow. Baseball's postseason continues at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox with Game 5 of this series. David Wells against Derek Lowe. Then at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Game 6 of the NLCS. The Marlins trying to avoid elimination when they take on Mark Pryor and the Cubs at Wrigley, looking for their first NL pennant in 58 years. Sports' biggest month of the year continues tomorrow only on Fox. Here is Johnny Damon. Ball 1. In July, all we kept hearing and talking about was this time it counts with the All-Star game. Well, it's about to count. The American League won. It would have been the National League's year to have home field advantage in the Fall Classic, but the American League won with the late heroics. How ironic would it be that the National League manager, Dusty Baker, had his hand in that whole thing? And we talked about it that night. It seemed like comparing the two managers, Dusty Baker was more, yeah, I know it counts, but I still want to get everybody in the game. And you talk to Scioscia, whose team was way out of it behind Seattle at that point, and he said, I'm thinking about matchups. I want Blaylock hanging around for Gagne, and wouldn't you know it, he saved him for the right spot. He ends up winning the game, and with that, if the Cubs were to get to the World Series, they would not have the home field advantage, as that's taken low to make it 3-0 on Johnny Damon.
Hank Blaylock with a 2-run home run off Eric Gagne. And back in May, Mike Mussina became the 60th pitcher in Major League history to strike out 2,000. Who was the victim? Hank Blaylock.
Here's a 3-0 to Damon. 3-1.
I think Hank's going to be looking for a playoff share from that American League team.
Yeah,
perhaps.
He's the one that would give either Boston or the Yankees home field advantage because of one swing. 3-1 pitch. 2 perfect deliveries on the outside corner. It's a full count. Mirabelli will go from first.
Mussina is throwing harder, and he's sharper tonight.
Runner goes, strike 3 on the inside corner. 5 strikeouts tonight for Mussina. And with that, we sail into the 4th of game number 4. Yankees up 2-1 tonight. No score. Fox brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. By Chevy Silverado, it's the right truck. By Pepsi Complete, just one and heartburn's done. And by AT&T Wireless. Go to the game alone and take all your friends with you. Reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless. 4th inning already here in game 4. No score, and Bernie Williams first up for New York. Yankees have had their chances so far. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Ball 1 to Williams. Posada and Matsui will follow. Red Sox have out hit the Yankees 2-1. On the corner, 1-1. The old 75-mile-an-hour blazing fastball for strike 1.
It looks like about 175 when you're used to looking at knuckleballs. pitch count on Mussina and Wakefield. Both have been rather thrifty.
1-1. Mirabelli kind of snapping at that pitch. Doesn't get the call. It's 2-1. Bernie Williams has not gone deep in this postseason. Had surgery on the left knee during the year. He's jammed and fights one into center field, a base hit. Leadoff man is on for New York, and let's check in with Chris Myers.
Joe, you mentioned security increased at the top of the show. The Boston police have added what they call a squadron in that right field area. They have 2 different police officers in the bullpen, different from the other night on Saturday, because they are involved, those police officers involved in the investigation with Jeff Nelson and Kareem Garcia. Major League Baseball has added a security representative back there, and a grounds crew member, an employee of the Red Sox, had to be approved by Joe Torre. He's different, of course, than the guy who was there Saturday. That was Paul Williams, who went to the hospital, who was given the night off, and no doubt he's watching on TV somewhere, waving a towel maybe when the Red Sox do something good.
First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Watching from center square somewhere out there, Paul Williams. So we have not heard the last of that. 1 on, nobody out. Leadoff hit by Bernie Williams. Posada struck out looking with 2 on back in the first. 0-2.
You can see the grip and that dead movement. Once again, you don't want spin on a knuckleball.
One on, 1 out. 4 strikeouts for Wakefield.
Maybe in a political rally, but not a knuckleball.
I would bet Wakefield has probably had that hat that's on his head since maybe
Pittsburgh days.
Yeah, 99. I mean, he doesn't pitch hard enough to sweat, to get a sweat ring on that thing.
He probably changed a hat from a P to a B. Released by the Pirates in 1995.
One on, 1 out. Most knuckleballers sweat milk. Not a lot of people know that, Brett, but they do.
Milk.
What is that?
We're speaking a different language up here. These guys are.
With 1 out, Matsui pops it up. Bill Miller, 2 out. Is Jello in a food group? Trying to hit a knuckleball is like trying to eat Jello with chopsticks. Sometimes you get a piece, but most of the time you get hungry. Says your former partner, Bobby Mercer.
Bobby Mercer signed with the Yankees originally as a third baseman, moved to center field, played for Ralph Houck. And he moved to the Giants and the Chicago Cubs. And then back to the Yankees to finish a terrific career.
With 1 on, 2 out, Nick Johnson takes strike 1. Johnson struck out his first time. The Red Sox in the bottom of this 4th will have Walker, Garciaparra, and Manny Ramirez. He hadn't even left the bag.
Yeah, I mean, aren't you surprised at that? I mean, Bernie Williams is not an adventurous base runner. And he has had knee problems. His left knee operated on in May, but a knuckleball pitcher on the mound.
Wakefield just wants to air it out a little bit. Tired of flipping knuckleballs to the plate. He wants to use his fastball over to Millar at first.
That's the place to do it.
One ball, 1 strike. Asked Joe Torre about having to catch knuckleballers in his career. He said, I was so bad at it. They went out and made a trade and got Bob Uecker to do it. But you know certainly better than I. Uecker jokes about it, but he was a tremendous defensive catcher. A 1-1 to Millar. And the inning is over.
Terrific defensive catcher.
Millar with a stop to his right. The big bat's coming up for the Red Sox. In the bottom of the fourth, no score. Walker first up, and he fouls this one down the left side, strike one. It'll be Walker, then Garciaparra, then Ramirez. For the Red Sox here in the fourth inning, trying to figure out Mike Mussina. Walker flied out to left his first time up. Outside, a ball and a strike. Tomorrow's starters we mentioned, Derek Lowe and David Wells. Talked to Wells before the game and asked him about that sore groin that he supposedly injured while getting out of the steps during Saturday's melee. He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, that's what they're reporting in the New York papers." He said, "Absolutely not. I have absolutely no trouble with it. In fact, he was ready to pitch last night, but pushed off until tomorrow after the rainout." There are the Game 5 starters tomorrow afternoon, 4 Eastern here on Fox. A strike, and it's 2-2 as Walker hops out of there. Derek Lowe, what a difference, home and road. At home this season, he won 11 of his 17 games, lost only 2, and an ERA of just over 3 as opposed to just over 6 on the road. So there's the break that the Red Sox catch with last night's rainout. 2-2 pitch to Walker. Fights it off.
And if it goes 6 or 7, John Burkett will start game 6, and Pedro Martinez will probably go against Roger Clemens in game 7.
Andy Pettit, for the most part, is being pushed back to game 6 at Yankee Stadium. At least, I say for the most part, at least that's the plan now. 2-2 delivery. Hammered. Deep right field. Back is DeLucci. The Boston Red Sox take the lead.
Pitch to Johnny Damon to end the 3rd inning. Mussina dropped down and threw a fastball. It surprised Damon. To Todd Walker, he dropped down, threw a fastball. No surprise. Pumped to right field.
The Red Sox record 5th home run in this postseason as Garciaparra quiets the crowd with another out. 1 out.
Fastball right down the chute. All the home runs that Walker has hit in the postseason, I think he hit that one the farthest.
The last one he hit was right in front of the pole at Yankee Stadium. That was interfered with.
Right in front of Josh Mandelbaum.
With 1 out, nobody on, here is Ramirez, who's 0 for 1. Strike 1. How about Walker? Hit 13 home runs for the entire regular season and has 5 in this postseason. A clunker to third for Boone. Tough play. We'll see what they rule it. Ramirez is on nonetheless with 1 out here in the 4th.
Aaron looked like he was trying to get to it before he took that tricky hop.
It did. It took a little bit of a funky hop on. It kind of delays right there and doesn't get it done.
E5. And his first error of this postseason, had 6 during the regular year. And it's 1 on, 1 out for David Ortiz, who struck out his first time. Here's another guy who isn't hitting. Ortiz came into this game hitting 100. A guy who helped carry this very good Boston offense in the second half of the season. He homered off Mussina in game 1. Hard hit. What a play by Soriano. A 4-6-3 double play. That thing was tattooed, and Soriano made a good play to his left. The double play ends the 4th. The home run by Walker puts Boston on top. We go to the 5th. 1-0 Red Sox. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Van Sickle has ever offered just $219 a month and not one dime out of your pocket for a 2003 Ford Taurus loaded with equipment. Original sticker price over $22,000. You can buy one today for just $11,988 or $219 a month. It's an incredible deal. No wonder Van Sickle is the #1 program car dealer in Bangor. You owe it to yourself to see how much you can save at Van Sickle Lincoln Mercury Kia Suzuki on the Hogan Road in Bangor today.
Work with a 1-0 lead after the home run by Walker. First up is Aaron Boone. And he takes a pitch for ball 1. Boone flied to left. He's 0 for 7 in this series. On deck is DeLucci and then back to Soriano. A wide strike. It's 1-1.
Tim Wakefield has just been sparkling for the Red Sox. No runs to the Yankees through 6 at Yankee Stadium, and now no runs through 4 here at Fenway.
2-2. Got out of trouble in the first inning, and since then has really settled down. Squirts away, but Mirabelli will make the tag for the out. That's 5 strikeouts for Wakefield. Let's go back to game 1. Todd Walker. His 4th home run of this postseason. Right in front of the pole. The hand of Josh Mandelbaum shoots in front of the pole, and then tonight a beautiful picture of this moonshot that settles into the seats beyond the right field wall. DeLucci takes a strike. Kareem Garcia, who injured his left hand during that altercation out of the bullpen, is in line to play tonight if needed. Joe Torre says he is playable if they need to use him in this game, but he wanted to go with DeLucci because he thought he might be more patient. And he has only the 3rd hit of the night for the Yankees. He's on with 1 out here in the 5th. Here's Soriano.
That looked to me like a fastball, and Wakefield was ahead in the count, 0-1. Normally he will not throw that fastball unless he's behind. And it was. Tried to sneak a fastball by DeLucci, and David pounded it to right.
I would say in most circumstances, most hitters, they're going to take that pitch. That's the last thing they're expecting.
1 on 1 out. Soriano at the plate, way out in front.
I know I'm taking it. Timmy, you?
Oh, yeah.
Can you remember back then?
Boy, you're harsh.
Yeah. Remember back then.
I know.
Way back when.
It's been a couple years.
Way back.
Let's go back to the Grand Slam.
More than a couple.
How long did you play, Tim?
19 years.
A long time.
1 on 1 out. No balls, 1 strike. Another base hit, this time pulled into left. Ramirez gets it on 2 hops, and here are the Yankees with another chance.
That was a rolling knuckleball right there. It's very difficult sometimes to tell that pitch, but there was no bounce to that knuckleball. It was a roller.
But that's the only one you're going to get. I mean, that one that's dancing, at best you're usually going to foul it off.
Right. Hit it off the end of the bat. Hit it off the trademark.
Oh no, the knuckleball, I usually just square it up into the night. No problem. Don't bring up my stats against Wakefield though.
Jeter is 1 for 2. He bats with 2 on and 1 out. Tying run at second here in the 5th. Ball one.
Timmy, 21 years he played. I had to do some research on him.
Okay.
In case I need it.
With 2 on, 1 ball, no strikes. DeLucci, the lead runner at second. Soriano on at first. Who would the Yankees rather have up? Second baseman was out of position on strike 1.
That's a dangerous thing to do with Derek Jeter. Walker over towards second base, worried about the steal. And Wakefield did not step off, and that hole in the right side was wide open for a guy who goes to right field a lot.
To third, it hits the bag. That is a base hit. Coming to the plate is DeLucci. It trickles away from Garciaparra. A 1-1 game, and the runners end up at second and third.
Off the trademark. Derek Jeter jammed and keeps the ball fair. That's what's unusual about this ground ball. It looked like it was going foul. It's the bag over the head of Miller. And then Garciaparra, had he come up with it, he could have held Soriano to second base. Soriano stopped. DeLucci scores easily once it hits the bag over his head. Derek Jeter pointing to third. Very important base to which to get with 1 out.
Now it's second and third, 1 out for Giambi, and he takes ball 1. Yeah, that's as big a part of the play as any. As that ball trickled away, Garciaparra had a chance to come up with it and hold the runners at first and second. He missed it, and the runners advanced to second and third for Giambi, who could put the Yankees on top for the first time tonight. Down the right field line. If it's fair, it's big trouble. It is a foul ball. Home run distance, but foul. Let's go back to the ball. It's a double for Jeter, and we look at the runners.
David DeLucci in the top of your screen. Now watch Soriano stop and then continue. The reason he stopped, he thought Garciaparra had a shot at the ball. The reason he continued was Garciaparra missed it.
I think actually Boston got a break right hitting the bag. I think it's by Miller at third and goes down on the corner. So I think they might have got a break right there. Soriano might have been able to score.
Right.
So now second and third, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike on Giambi. Popped up. Shallow center field. Soriano tagging. Damon's throw coming to the plate. Soriano holds. 2 out. Oh for 3 with runners in scoring position is Giambi tonight.
Damon does not have a strong arm, but he's just too shallow for even Soriano to score. You just can't take a chance with Bernie Williams coming up. Jeter looking at Soriano. He sees him tag. Then he tags Soriano with a fake break to draw the throw. Nothing doing.
Now it's second and third, 2 out for Williams, who has singled and walked. Ball 1 high, back to the swing. And mega slow-mo by Giambi.
It's the bottom part of the ball and just does not lift it enough to score the run.
Bothered by a sore left knee, that power knee, the backside, and it is killing him. He doesn't say much about it, but it has totally affected him getting the pitches and driving the ball in this postseason. Now second and third, 2 out, a 1-0 pitch to Bernie Williams. A little bit high, it's 2-0. Posada waits to hit next. 3 hits in the inning, an RBI double by Jeter to tie it. 2-1.
Soriano, the runner at third, explosively fast as Williams swings through the 2-0 knuckleball. Soriano ready to score on a short pass ball. Anything that squirts out of Mirabelli's reach, Soriano will try to score.
Three and one. Two wide, the bases are loaded with 2 out. That's the first walk since the first and the third of the night for Wakefield. And it looks like Dave Wallace is going to come out and have a chat. What possibly can he say?
Try to stay on top of the ball. That's the only thing Dave told me that he tells Tim Wakefield. A lot of times when he drops down, he's away to left-handed batters. And when he has been wild this inning, it has been away to left-handed batters. It's a hard thing for a pitching coach to come over in the middle of the year, as Dave Wallace did, and try to tell his pitchers the same thing that the pitching coach that he replaced told them. Tony Cloninger with cancer had to step down. Tony with the team and doing well, very well.
Mussina takes a strike on the outside corner. He didn't like the call. The numbers in this series: 3 RBIs for the Yankee catcher. Soriano at third, Jeter at second, Williams on at first, 2 out. Into left field, Manny Ramirez right there, and the inning is over. So the Yankees now have left 7. They do come up with a run on a double by Jeter. We're halfway through game 4, and the Yankees and Red Sox are tied at 1. Goes back to the hill. Millar, Nixon, and Miller. If anybody gets on Mirabelli, the number 9 hitter. Millar struck out his first time 3 out of 14. With his only RBI of the postseason coming in this ALCS, he takes a strike. Here's another guy. He drove in 96 runs during the regular season, hit 25 home runs, and this Boston offense has yet to put any consistent pressure in either one of the series against the opposition's pitching. That's out of play, strike 2. As we've said already a couple of times, this is a record-setting offense. Slugging percentage, on-base percentage. They got guys on. They had 8 guys drive in 80 or more runs. First time that's happened. They're having a tough time in October. Millar hops out of there, waiting for an 0-2 pitch from Mussina. Good pitch down and in, and strikeout number 6 for Mike Mussina. To look at it another way, we look at this Red Sox offense. 291 batting average, 961 runs, led the majors, major league records, total bases, extra base hits, slugging percentage, previous record held by the 1927 Yankees. Yet here they are in the postseason, hitting 190 with runners in scoring position coming into this game. Their only run tonight, a home run by Walker. Nixon hits one to deep center. Back is Williams, and the Red Sox are back on top.
Sometimes a hitter will leave the bench and say, I'm going to look for one pitch out over the plate, fastball, something I can drive. A similar spot that Nixon won Game 3 of the American League Division Series against Oakland.
Strike one on Miller.
Fastball away. Mussina hits Posada's glove, or at least it appeared that way. He would have until Nixon took over. Said, Jorge, I'll handle this one. And did he ever?
About the same spot where he won Game 3 of the Division Series.
Yep.
Straightaway center. Miller slaps at one and fouls at strike two. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Mussina. 7 on the night. Back to the home run. And a view from the top of the monster and left. Here's Mirabelli, who singled his first time up.
That is the 5th home run in this series given up by Mussina to the Red Sox. Just about 10 innings.
Gave up 21 during the regular season and 214 and 2/3. You look at recent history with Mussina in this ballpark. His last 5 starts here, 4-0 with an ERA of 2.5. And it was a Friday night, September 2nd, 2001, when he pitched a 1-hit shutout and came awfully close to a no-hitter.
26 in a row until Carl Everett, as a pinch hitter, single to center field. Little jam shot to left center.
Mirabelli out in front, ball and a strike. Strike 2, and Mussina can strike out the side here in the 5th. The Yankees will have Matsui, Johnson, and Boone in their half of the 6th. Hard hit, but Jeter stays down on it, and the inning is over, but not before Trot Nixon hits the 2nd home run of the night. Walker went deep first, and now Nixon here in the 5th, and with that, the Red Sox back out in front. It's 2-1. Nixon goes deep in the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-1. Yankees have out-hit the Red Sox 5-4, but the Yankees 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Matsui takes a strike. Hideki is 0 for 2. He struck out. He's fouled out. Nick Johnson and Aaron Boone will follow. 0-2. Between innings, a long conversation between Joe Torre and Bernie Williams. 3 pitches and strikeout number 6 for Wakefield. Major League Baseball is giving away World Series tickets for life and other great prizes. Winning hologram numbers will be announced during games 1 through 4 of the 2003 World Series on Fox. Visit your local Radio Shack store for your chance to win.
I think Joe Torre may have noticed Bernie's lead over there. He's been on base 3 times. There was something odd about that lead he took in the 1st inning. And then after he singled in the 4th.
Yeah, you have to wonder. He's been on base all 3 times. He's had no trouble out in the outfield. Johnson takes a strike. It's 1-1. 2. This crowd has yet to really get crazy here tonight in Game 4, and that's, I think, indicative of the pressure that these Red Sox and their fans are feeling. Down 2-1. Daylight action tomorrow, and if necessary, a trip back to New York for 6, and again, if necessary, 7. Leading 2-1 tonight. 2 out.
Now Tim Wakefield drops down the first time tonight. See how that ball ends up in the heel of the glove of Doug Mirabelli. And getting back to the opening, Grady Little saying that the catcher's having a tough time catching it, the hitter's having a tough time hitting it, and both have been true.
And while you've noted it with Mussina, there's Wakefield dropping down to a left-handed batter.
Yeah.
Typically, you'd see it right on right. A 1-0. Boone out in front.
I think to start the game, you didn't see a lot of swing and misses. And I think now you're starting to see a lot of swings coming up empty.
A lot of air swings.
That means that thing's dancing pretty good.
Wakefield is in line and looking for his 8th strikeout. One and 2 on Aaron Boone, who is 0 for 8 in this series. Down the left field line, foul. From the top of the monster, hooking all the way and ending up foul. A 1-2. 2-2. Struck out the side. 8 on the night. A new career postseason high. Wakefield's doing his part. Red Sox bat. Bottom of the 6th. Up 2-1. Pitch. Johnny Damon takes the ball. Top of the order for Boston. Damon, Walker, Garcia, Parra. 2-1 Red Sox. Bottom of the 6th. Opposite way, had a good clip to it, back against the wall, caught by Matsui. Damon is 0 for 3 after a 3 for 4 debut in this ALCS on Saturday.
A click is the appropriate sound for a ball hit well. A little bit of an uppercut swing. He hit it well, but lifted it a little too much. And Matsui makes the play.
Edge, almost heel catch by Matsui out and left as Walker, who homered his last time up, takes a strike. Todd Walker supplied the first run of the night back in the 4th inning. Yankees tied in the top of the 5th, then Trot Nixon went deep to put Boston back in front. Huge swing. Strike 2.
That looked like a splitter. A pitch that Mussina has been working on the second half of the season, going down. Normally, if you hit a fastball out of the ballpark, don't look for it in the same spot the next time up.
1-2.
Although sometimes it's a good pitch, because as a hitter, you hit one out and you're thinking to yourself, next time up, he don't want to throw me that one.
That's right.
You throw me that same one, I might. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Mussina struck out 7. Up the middle, a 1-out base hit. In-game box score for the Red Sox is brought to you by AT&T. Damon 0 for 3. Walker now 2 for 3, including that home run. And Garciaparra. These Red Sox fans waiting for Nomar Garciaparra to do something. Has not driven in a run in 35 at-bats in the postseason. 2 out of 15 in this series. And within the 2 out of 15 hasn't looked good in compiling the 2 out of 15. It's not as if he's been hitting into bad luck. And it's 1-on, 1-out for Garciaparra with Ramirez on deck.
That is a fair point, because he has been getting under balls, been topping balls, hitting balls off the trademark. Not a question of luck.
Ball 1.
One thing the Yankees have done, too, is pitch to his aggressiveness. Pitch him off the plate. Only 39 walks and over 700 at-bats this year for Nomar.
Another one in on the hands and off the trademark. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, his first time up tonight, an example of that. In off the plate, and watch how he pulls his hands in and pops it up.
As hard a shot as he's had in this series.
Right. This ball down a little bit over the back part of the plate. Crushed but foul.
Runner at first, 1 out. 2-1 Red Sox in the 6th. Another strikeout for Mussina. 8 on the night. And Garciaparra now 2 out of 16.
Pitching to his aggressiveness. Out of the strike zone. Knuckle curve.
Now 2 out for Manny Ramirez.
See that front hip leaving on that last swing by Nomar Garciaparra. Once that happens, tough to recover.
Ramirez 0 for 2. Reached on an error his last time up. Takes a high strike.
I think with the Nomar thing, I mean, he's going through a tough time right now. He might not feel comfortable in the box. And yeah, he is probably the most aggressive hitter I've seen. But when you go bad, the one thing you don't want to do is lose that aggressiveness, because he knows he keeps going up there. He keeps getting his rips. Eventually, he's going to come out of it.
1 ball, 1 strike.
The numbers over his career say his aggressiveness is good.
2-time leading hitter in the American League in '99 and 2000.
Came into game 1 of this ALCS as a .358 career postseason batter. Sada can't handle strike 2 as it sports away. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ramirez.
Very interesting that Joe Torre has Aaron Boone on the line at third base. Manny does not hit a lot of balls down the line. For the most part, when you see that with 2 outs, what Torre is saying, that he wants you to get 2 hits, not 1. to score the run.
Two and two. David Ortiz, 1 for 11 on deck. Got him on the outside corner. 9 strikeouts on the night for Mussina, and that sends this game 4 into the 7th inning. The Red Sox strandled into their 2nd of the night. They lead it 2-1. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Home at Imperial Homes, Eddington. This Marlette Schultz home is designed to accommodate all your family's needs. And look into the 42-inch plasma TV at Imperial Homes, Route 9, Eddington. It's not that far.
On base twice. He's stolen a base. He's singled. He scored a run. Soriano and Jeter will follow if anybody gets on Giambi. It's 2-1 Boston. Trying to even this series at 2-2. Todd Walker, 1 out. Leadoff man is gone, and we check in with Chris Myers.
Joe, we talked about security. Tom Ridge, director of Homeland Security here, not for those purposes, in the area looking at colleges for his daughter, a self-proclaimed Philly and Pirate fan. But he said he watched Saturday's game, and he thought the 4th inning incident and the bullpen incident very regrettable. Said baseball doesn't need that. But he did say that Don Zimmer's tearful apology the next day, he thought, was a very important thing for all involved. He said it's nice to see people be accountable when they need to be.
Thanks, Chris. With 1 out, nobody on, Soriano steps to the plate. Been on base twice with a hit and a walk. And a little pop-up off the hands. Garcia Parra out to get it. 2 out. So far, we haven't heard really much of anything from Pedro Martinez after Saturday's events.
Nope.
And he has pretty much boycotted the media for the most part all season. And I know some are wishing and hoping for a statement from Pedro Martinez regarding Saturday's events, and so far that hasn't happened. Don Zimmer was so embarrassed and so disappointed by his own actions, he thought about leaving the whole scene on Saturday night. As a strike is into Derek Jeter.
I think Derek's in a position right now where the first 2 hitters swung at the first pitch, 2 outs, and he's, you know, you don't want to give him that quick of an inning, so he's probably going to see him take a few pitches here.
A little pop-up. Miller, Mirabelli, and it's Bill Miller who comes in basket style to end the inning. A quick and easy 4-pitch top of the 7th inning against DeLucci, Soriano, and Jeter. Time to stretch here in game 4. Red Sox still lead by 1. Series on Fox brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. In what was, I think, a necessary and a classy move by the Boston Red Sox organization, and Tim Wakefield in particular, he recorded this, I guess you could call it, public service announcement that was played before the game here at Fenway Park.
On behalf of the players on your Boston Red Sox, we ask you to show your enthusiasm, support, and good sportsmanship throughout the game tonight, and also to respect the visiting team and its fans. We want to focus on good baseball and on these games that we are all looking forward to.
And now highlights from Tim Wakefield, who not only tried to get the crowd in the right move with those words, but he has his Red Sox in a good position, up 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. A career high for postseason strikeouts in a game with 8. And he has been dazzling tonight for Boston, but just as good, really, has been Mussina, who's needed only 77 pitches to get through 6 innings. But he's allowed 2 home runs, 1 to Walker, 1 to Nixon, and he's on the short end of a 2-1 score.
I think the key to that is there has been 2 home runs, but they've both been solo shots. Keeps his team in the game.
Ortiz first up, then Millar, then Nixon. bounced sharply into a double play his last time up. Struck out his first time. Homered off Mussina in game 1. 0-2.
So many ways that Mussina can go. Now to Ortiz as Grady Little talks to Tim Wakefield. He also talked to Doug Mirabelli. I mean, he hit a 4-pitch 7th inning, 3 up, 3 down. So I would suspect he'll be back out there in the 8th inning.
And nobody warming up for the Red Sox in their bullpen. That's just wide, 1-2. And on the other side, the Yankees, should they grab a late lead, Mariano Rivera is available for 2 innings here tonight. Wouldn't have been last night, but with the rain and the rain out, he is set for 2 if the Yankees get that opportunity. 1-2 to Ortiz. Good pitch. Fastball ties him up. That's 10 strikeouts for Mussina. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question was, who was most responsible for Saturday's melee in the 4th inning? And the answer was Pedro Martinez. By your votes, 53%. By logging on to foxsports.com or using your PCS Vision phone from Sprint. Zimmer came in second. There's third. And bringing up the rear with 13%, Roger Clemens, who, if he had any responsibility in it, it came from reputation and history, but he did absolutely nothing but keep his emotions under control, his game in check, and pitched brilliantly for the victory, his last time ever here at Fenway Park. With 1 out, nobody on, Millar takes ball 1.
I've always thought that term, and most people in and around baseball think that term, being a captain, is kind of a strange term. Captains are for football, perhaps basketball or hockey, but baseball, it's an odd term. But Derek Jeter showed that last night by keeping Clemens out of everything. Going up and standing in front of him, or last night, 2 nights ago. Derek Jeter's long been the leader of this ball club. Named the captain of the Yankees in May.
Here's a 2-1. 3-1. The time that was really thrust on Joe Torre. That designation by George Steinbrenner. Basically naming Derek Jeter the captain. Couldn't have picked a better guy. Here comes a 3-1 pitch with 1 out, nobody on. Millar took ball 4. Mussina wonders where that missed. 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th here. Let's check in with Jeannie Zelasco.
Let's talk about a former Yankee, a large part of the reason the Marlins are on the map in October. Mike Lowell, he got the fish off the hook, and now the series goes swinging back to Chicago. Another chance for the Cubs to clinch a full slate on Fox tomorrow. Yankees and Red Sox 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, followed by the Cubs and Marlins with a World Series on the line.
Mark Pryor will be on the mound for the Chicago Cubs. Carl Pavano will be making the start for the Marlins. Here's Trot Nixon, who homered to center his last time up. He's 2 for 2. You can see Posada pointing to the right side of the field before that pitch was delivered, and Mussina eventually stepped off.
I think what happens is Posada saw Millar right there. You could see him checking, and now he tells Mussina to check Millar. Don't let him get off of there and take a walking lead. You don't want to tell your pitcher that when he's in his stretch, because you could cause a balk, but make sure you tell him before the signs are delivered.
Nixon, 28 home runs during the regular season. 2 in the postseason. Both here at Fenway. a save by Posada. Keeps the double play in order as he got enough of a glove on it to keep it at the plate.
Yeah, that was a terrific play by Posada. Very difficult going to his right, trying to square up to keep the ball out in front of him. Sharp breaking knuckle curve. Nicely done by Posada.
Now Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach for the Yankees, in what could be his final year in that position for New York, is out to talk to Mike Mussina.
Mel said he would decide whether to come back as the pitching coach of the Yankees over the winter.
Little meeting on the mound with Nixon at the plate. Best view of tonight's game is from up above the Hood Lightship. Hood Dairy will donate $300 to children's hospitals throughout New England for every home run, double play, and strikeout made by the Red Sox during the ALCS at Fenway Park. Tonight the Red Sox have hit 2 home runs. Wakefield has struck out 8. And the Red Sox have turned 1 double play as Felix Heredia, the left-hander, gets loose for New York. Red Sox hitters might go out and help carry Heredia into the game if the Yankees are willing to take Mussina out. A 1-0 on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Thought Mussina caught a break there. That ball did not look like it was on the plate. May have been a splitter. Posada sitting away. Nope, I take that back. Little front corner action there. Sometimes the catcher will catch it off the plate, but it hits the front corner.
1-1. Millar doesn't run much and doesn't run all that well. 3 out of 5 in the stolen base department, in case you're wondering. The Yankees seem awfully bothered by Millar over at first. Red Sox have not had much, if any, luck with the running game in this series. Nixon goes the opposite way. Deep into left field and off the monster. Millar will end up at third. Hold there on a double by Trot Nixon.
That is a terrific play by Hideki Matsui, who deked Kevin Millar by making it appear that he was under the ball. Otherwise, Millar takes off and perhaps could score. Check him out right there. Now he turns around at the last minute, and that throw home holds Millar to third base.
All Millar could do after the play was hang his head over at third base.
Yeah, right.
Because he knew he'd been had.
This stops Millar right there. Now by the time he resumes speed, too late to score. Good play by Matsui.
Ball almost left the park. It's a double, and they're going to walk Bill Miller with Mirabelli on deck.
If you're going to pinch hit for Mirabelli, you have to take Wakefield out of the game, one would assume. And I thought initially that there was movement in the Boston bullpen.
Well, Veritek, while he doesn't catch Wakefield during the regular season, caught only 2 of his innings, pitched over 200 innings, has caught Wakefield, and according to Grady Little, can catch Wakefield. So if they want to pinch hit, that option is certainly there. And here comes Veritek jogging out of the bullpen with all eyes on him. He's coming in to hit.
He needs a U-Haul for all that stuff. He's got shin guards on and a bag full of equipment. There's a golf cart when you need it.
So Veritek caught the attention of these fans. They're standing and applauding. And Mirabelli, it appears, will be lifted for a pinch hitter, and there is no action for the Red Sox out in their bullpen. But Mirabelli is not coming to the plate. They're waiting for Veritek, so Mirabelli is finished, going 1 for 2.
What's amazing to me is if the Yankees don't have that meeting at the mound, does it give Varitek time to even get ready to hit?
And a long way to go. Well, the reason that the Red Sox are in this situation was that play by Hideki Matsui. Yastrzemski, there was nobody better at playing the monster than Carl Yastrzemski. But Matsui has learned in a hurry. Watch him go back and appear. He squares up. He appears. He even looks at second base. That holds Millar for a second, allowing Matsui to get the ball back in time to hold Millar at third.
And not only deking him, but putting himself in a position to make a good play on the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
If that ball gets away from him at all, Millar would have scored. But it took a bounce directly over his head, and he was there to make the play to hold Millar at third. Now after the intentional pass, it's bases loaded, 1 out, and Varitek, after that long run in from the bullpen, is finally ready to hit.
Call a pinch hitter in from the bullpen.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, 1 out from the stretch. Varitek, who has come up with so many important hits for the Red Sox over the years, has been rock solid also behind the plate as their catcher. To the left side. Out at second. Safe, and a run scores. It's 3-1.
Terrific play by Derek Jeter to even make it close. Varitek perhaps getting down the line faster than he's ever run.
That was a great. Watch this.
Ooh, very close. Very close.
And with that, Joe Torre is going to make a pitching change. The lefty Heredia coming in. Another look at the play at first. Called safe. A run is on the board in this 7th. It's 3-1 Boston. Been dealing with Felix Heredia, and the first pitch misses, ball 1. We've had looks at that play at first base, and it certainly appears that Joe West, longtime big league umpire, the first base umpire, got the call correct.
Right.
Varitek's foot just beating the throw to first on the relay from Soriano. It's 3-1. Damon, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the most definitive look at it, and you'll see the foot on the bag before the ball is all the way in the glove of Nick Johnson.
Joe West getting a little help from Jason Varitek.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. A 1-1 to Damon. Strike 2. For those of you just joining us, this is game 4. Red Sox down 2-1, but up 3-1 in the 7th inning. Brilliant pitching tonight from both starters, Wakefield and Mussina. Mussina's given up a couple of home runs and 1 run here in the 7th, thanks to a double and a walk, then an intentional pass, and an RBI force out hit by Varitek. Now the 1-2. Varitek's trapped between first and second with an eye on the runner Nixon. Nixon coming to the plate. Now he's in a bit of a rundown. Throw to third, tag out, and the inning is over. So with 2 strikes on the hitter, Varitek wandering off the bag. Don't know if the Red Sox are trying to steal a run there or Varitek just went too far. We've played 7 in game 4, and the Red Sox now lead by 2. The Yankees